Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Monthly Measures here on Great Measures. My name is Richard. This is going to be the seventh and final part for the best metal releases of October 2025. It's probably been the most insane month that I think I can recall in recent memory in sheer terms of high quality releases and the quantity of those releases. Got 8 more for you. Excited to show them to you. Let's get into it. We've got Yellow Eyes with an album called Confusion Gate. This is black metal from New York. This one was released on October 31st via Gilead Media. 6 years since Rare Field Sealing, Yellow Eyes returned with a Confusion Gate, a haunted, expansive reflection on time, decay, and persistence. It's both the continuation of a long creative lineage and renewal of it, bridging the spectral folk of Master's Murmur with the fevered dissonance that's always defined the band's core. The guitars spiral in intricate braids, drums rumble with restless motion, and the vocals, frayed, throaty, and commanding, carry an aged defiance. Between its violent bursts lie moments of startling stillness, woodwinds, acoustic passages, and spectral melodies that sound lifted from a ritual. Every shift feels intentional, each dissonance earned through patience and pressure. Confusion Gate is the sound of a band aging into revelation. It doesn't reach backward, it ascends through exhaustion, reflection, and endurance. The Skarstad brothers have turned weariness into transcendence, crafting one of Yellow Eye's most vivid and affecting works yet. That is Confusion Gate by Yellow Eyes. We've got Valletta with an EP called Bitter, Lucid Truth. This is Black and Roll from North Carolina. It was released on October 24th via Life Force Records. This EP hits like a full-body purge, 5 tracks of blackened rock energy, stripped of pretense. Valletta sharpened their craft into something lean and volatile. The riffs coil tight, rhythms land like blunt instruments, and the overall pacing feels born from tension rather than polish. Every element feeds the same impulse, to move forward through noise, to let anger become propulsion instead of spectacle. The production keeps everything raw but purposeful. Guitars snarl with jagged overtones, the drums sound close enough to rattle your teeth, and the low end grinds through each measure with weight. There's clarity in the chaos. Each performance is breathing, bleeding, and refusing automation. The result feels hand-built rather than engineered. For all its hostility, the record's strength lies in conviction. Nothing here panders or poses. It just is, furious, grounded, and unfiltered. Bitter Lucid Truth captures a band in motion, hammering their frustrations into rhythm and finding a strange kind of freedom in the wreckage. That is Bitter Lucid Truth by Valletta. We've got Spite with an album called New World Killer. This is deathcore from California. This one was released on October 31st via Rise Records. Some albums sound violent, this one feels violent. New World Killer is Spite at their most refined and ruthless, an unbroken chain of punishment that turns aggression into design. There's no filler, there's no polish, there's no reprieve. Every second is tension meeting precision, the kind of control that can only come from living inside the chaos. It's not about pushing deathcore forward, it's about making it hit harder than ever. Will Putney's production gives the record muscle and motion without softening the impact. The guitars carve out dense walls of sound, the drums land with surgical accuracy, and the vocals sit right in the center like a threat made real. Every element locks into place with purpose, reinforcing the band's discipline beneath all that destruction. 5 albums deep, Spite have mastered the art of intent. New World Killer doesn't just hit, it breaks. Calculated, relentless, and unflinchingly heavy, it stands as proof that fury, when focused, can sound like control itself. That is New World Killer by Spite. We've got Despised Icon with an album called Shadow Work. This is deathcore from Canada. This one was released on October 31st via Nuclear Blast. 17 years after defining the blueprint for deathcore, Despised Icon proved they're still the masters of their own design. Shadow work isn't nostalgia, it's renewal. The Montreal veterans fused the precision of technical death metal with hardcore's raw force, shaping an album that hits with intent rather than excess. Each track feels built for pressure, fast, direct, and structured to detonate without losing focus. It's a reminder that evolution in heavy music doesn't always mean reinvention, it means refinement. The record sounds immense without slipping into modern overproduction. There's movement in the songwriting, tight bursts of speed giving way to deliberate, weight-bearing grooves. For a band that helped birth an entire subgenre, Despised Icons still sound very urgent. Shadow work stands as both reflection and escalation, seasoned musicians pushing their roots to the limit and proving that conviction still cuts deeper than nostalgia. That is Shadow Work by Despised Icon. We've got Wolvennest with an album called Procession. This is psychedelic doom from Belgium. It was released on October 17th via Consoling Sounds. Procession unfolds less like a record and more like a ritual. The Belgian collective returned with an 80-minute double album that blurs the line between doom, blackened psychedelia, and ceremonial rock. The atmosphere isn't merely dark, it's magnetic, pulling the listener into a slow, spiraling descent where heaviness and hypnosis share the same pulse. The vocals act as both guide and invocation, alternating between chant, lament, and command. The band's three-guitar interplay builds thick harmonic walls that ebb and shift like smoke, while the ever-present theremin threads through the mix as an otherworldly signal. The pacing rewards patience. Every repetition deepens the spell. Every transition lands with quiet inevitability. Procession captures Wolvennest at full strength, visionary, immersive, and unbound by convention. It's not an album you simply hear, it's one you inhabit, step by step until the final fade feels like awakening from a long, sacred dream. That is Procession by Wolvennest. We've got Internal Bleeding with an album called Settle All Scores. This is Slam from New York. This one was released on October 17th via Maggot Stomp. 3 decades deep, Internal Bleeding still sound like they're out for blood. Settle All Scores is 30 minutes of pure New York vengeance, packed tight with everything that made this band a cornerstone of Slam's DNA: groove, weight, and absolute disdain for subtlety. The record moves with precision and muscle. Guitars grind and drop into neck-snapping rhythms. Drums stay locked in the pocket with punishing intent, and the dual vocal approach keeps each hit feeling personal. It's ugly in the best way, direct, physical, and completely self-assured. Even the album's brief flashes of melody serve more as warning sirens than relief. Settle All Scores proves Internal Bleeding still own the sound they helped create. No polish, no pretense, just slam refined to a weapon. It's a veteran band reminding the scene that heaviness isn't a trend, it's a lifetime sentence. That is Settle All Scores by Internal Bleeding. We've got an album called Subterrania by Miasmata. This is black metal from New Zealand. This one was released on October 31st via Nattermacht Productions. New Zealand's Miasmata returns from the depths with Subterrania, a one-man expedition through myth, melancholy, and metal's sharper edges. Across 6 tracks, multi-instrumentalist Mike Wilson melds black, speed, thrash, and traditional heavy metal into a cohesive and fully charged record that feels both classic and restless. Every song builds momentum through precision. Furious riffs ignite, melodic leads cut through the dark, and the entire record moves with a sense of purpose that never lets up. Wilson's performance is feral yet focused. Vocals rasp with personality, and the guitars drive everything forward with hooks that balance speed and structure. Moments of cleaner voice and synth texture offer breathing space without diluting the impact, turning longer tracks into mini journeys rather than exercises in endurance. There's a sense of narrative beneath the violence, an underworld tale told through movement and contrast. Subterrania cements Miasmata as one of the most compelling solo voices in modern blackened metal. It's vicious, melodic, and meticulously built, a record that proves ambition and intensity can coexist without ever losing the spark of fun. That is Miasmata with an album called Subterrania. We've got Hectic with an album called Unbeholden. This is technical death metal from Bulgaria. It was released on October 27th. Unbeholden weaves complex fretwork into songs that actually swing, proof that intellect and instinct can share a stage. The guitars articulate like speech, phrases rising, pausing, resolving, while drums mirror every contour with precise timing. Interludes of clean tone break the tension without derailing the momentum. The production balances density and legibility, distortion thick enough to bruise but still lets the notes ring true. Each composition feels tested for efficiency. Beneath the calculus lies attitude, the confidence of players who know their own strengths and weaknesses. Unbeholden is proof technical death metal can think hard, hit harder, and still sound alive. That is Unbeholden by Hectic. Thanks for watching, everybody. That was part 7 of Monthly Measures from October. So many new records, so many new EPs. Really glad I got to show a lot of them to you. If you haven't heard them before, go check them out. Go back and look at the other parts here. That's over 50 new releases that we've highlighted and featured on the channel. October was pretty wild. Looking forward to November. I'll see you soon. Have a wonderful day.